Hello, everybody, and welcome today. It is another shiny new toys.
Love it.
Once again, I'm joined by Barlow as always, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Thanks for having me again.
Oh,
Love it.
I mean, every month, man. Like just book it. Write it in. Every month, you will be
It's my favorite thing to do.
In-
So I mean,
until you're old and decrepit. They have to carry you. You're part of this.
I'm in.
So yeah, this is the month of July, right? These are
Yes.
the toys. Some of the stuff that came out and gave me the month of July, and I will say, some cool stuff. Right?
Yeah.
But there's a cool stuff pretty much every month, right? I don't think there's not going to be an episode of Shiny New Toys where we're like, eh.
I think there might be an episode where like this is the coolest thing that's ever come out.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but we go there. There have been some darn cool things that have come out. We're close with this one. There's a few in this that I gotta say. Really tip the scales. They're at the top 99%. There's
99%.
Yeah, easily.
Ooh.
There's at least two things in this set, and you will hear all about my opinion on at least two
Of
things.
how
in this
excited
set.
you are for it.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
what do you say we get started?
Let's
What you
do
say?
it.
Okay, let's break down some of these boxes here, and then so everybody can see our beautiful shining faces. I'll leave these up. That's what we'll start with.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start off with Crisis Protocol here.
Yep.
So there, I believe it was 4 sets came
Yes.
out, and once again, Atomic Mass Studios, right? Atomic Mass
That's
is who does it.
Yes.
They knocked it out of the park with these minis.
They're killing it. Well, number one, the models look amazing. Number two, look at the volume of models that they're pushing out for this game. You know, I mean, and it's the other thing is it's not like some other games where you get, this month we're releasing 3 whole armies. No. This is, we're releasing models that you can use in your game. This is a very affordable game, I think, for people to play. That's the other thing.
Yes.
It's a very affordable game, and there's so many options that keep coming out. Like each one of these, except for this one, has at least 2 models in it, and they tie in so well. It's a great game, and it's super fun.
I'll tell you something I did enjoy is the Captain America and War Machine, how it tied into the Disney Plus series,
Yes,
right? Like,
yes.
like they were like, nope, this is Captain America
Yes,
now.
and if you can see this, if you can see that Captain America, that's the Sam Wilson Captain America that if you watch the Disney Plus series, that's him. It is super awesome, and they made him look even better than I ever would have dreamed.
That's good. So they have to know what's going on in
Oh,
these
yeah.
series,
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then every year not every year, but every month we talk about these, Crisis Protocol,
Yeah.
because they release stuff every month, pretty
Yep.
much. I think
Yep.
last month was a big building. They had that awesome
that
big
was
building,
the
right?
New York City apartment building.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
That was super good.
But I don't know if they don't own a right to some comic book characters because they're digging deep. Like I had no idea who Cassandra Nova was.
Oh, and so that's the thing about some of these. Some of them you're going to be. It's a dig deep, right? Omega Red, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's an X-Men. These are both from the X-Men series. This, I think, Lizard wasn't he a Spider-Man?
I think they're
villain?
Spider-Man
Yeah,
villains,
yeah.
because I knew everyone
Yeah.
in here, but like I know they're previewed. Like Moon Knight is
Oh,
coming,
yeah,
and there's some
yeah.
others. So they have like. I mean, I'm sure comic fans are like losing their mind right now. They're like, "How do you not know who that person is?"
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm probably gonna get smacked for that.
Yeah.
Well,
But listen, if you like Marvel comics, just wait. Eventually, they're going to make it.
well, that's just it. So no matter who you are interested in, there's definitely a faction or a force. There's models you can play in this game. You know what I mean? And it's been out, what now? 2 years? I think it's been out 2 years maybe? And there's so many different factions of... and the game doesn't play like that. It's not like you choose a faction. It's just those factions give you bonuses if you happen to. But you can play any model with any model. And I can't imagine anyone that likes Marvel that wouldn't want to say, oh, you know what, I can get something this month because there's got to be one of these that somebody is going to like.
That's-
right?
yeah.
I mean, there's got to be one.
And you say you can play any model with any model, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that so comic booky?
It
Like, 'cause
is.
I'm sure at any point
It
you could
is.
find, these people working at some point in the history of
Yep.
Marvel, right? The bad guys working with the good guys, like it's
I've got to work with my arch nemesis to accomplish this. Well, guess what? You can do it in this game.
I love Crisis Protocol, and chances are we're going to be talking about Crisis Protocol pretty much every month, right?
I hope so.
Because they come out with new minis every month.
I hope so, and I hope they continue to be as awesome as these. This one, the Captain America one, I was super thrilled because I just wasn't plugged in. I didn't realize that they were releasing a Sam Wilson Captain America, and when I saw that, by the way, watch the series on Disney Plus. It's amazing. I lost it because that was exactly what I wanted to see. That scene in the Disney Plus series. Come on, man.
We're now a review show for television programs.
No, that scene is like this model.
It's
this
the
model is
they
that.
do well good with
It's
capturing that.
It is so that. So
all right,
it was good. Immersive.
So let's go from Marvel to DC.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So Batman Rogues Gallery, first and foremost, is the animated series, right? Which is awesome. Like, I'm a child of the 90s, and, so...
Anybody that's a fan of the animated series is just going to love the artwork here, because this is, it's classic. Look, we were just talking about Bane. There you go. Look at Bane. Look at the animated series. Bane.
We were talking about Bane. We had a heated
see?
discussion about Bane.
Yeah. Awesome.
So have you played this game, or do you know anything about the game?
No, I have not played it, but I can tell you what it is.
Okay.
It is a pressure luck game where, again, like some of the games we've reviewed recently, you play the bad guys.
Oh.
So you're the villains, the rogues of the Rogues Gallery, and you're trying to take down Batman. And the way you're going to do that is through a series of kind of pressure luck dice rolling tasks where you try and get your scheme and your character built up, which your villains' plans together, and then defeat all the other villains. Not defeat them, but beat them to defeat Batman. Yes, to vanquishing Batman. So that's what we've got. And again, artwork is great. The if you're a fan of the series, if you like pressure luck games, that's definitely the case. It's a fast playing game too. I've heard. Like you said, I haven't played it, so I can't speak to that.
But he says 30 to 45 minutes on there. Yeah,
there you go.
30 minutes.
So and I love pressure luck games anyway. So it ends up kind of being a hose your neighbor kind of game.
That's what I was wondering. Is there like the hose your neighbor kind of things? I like soft hose your neighbor games. Right?
Yeah, me too.
Not games like Diplomacy, right? Like I have seen friendships end because of that game.
Diplomacy isn't a hose your neighbor. Diplomacy is let's murder your neighbor.
Yeah, we never want to play again. Like it's crazy.
I will not play that game.
So, all right. So
that's
that
a duel.
is
That's
the
a challenge.
Batman.
If somebody challenges me to a duel, it will have to be Diplomacy. That's how it would work,
Instead of swords, you're playing Diplomacy, right?
Oh, it's a duel. It's going to throw down. Okay. Diplomacy. That's how it's got to be.
All right, so there's that. Grab the Infinity there.
Ooh, these guys are cool.
All right, so these guys are really cool. So Teutonic Knights came out along with, we actually don't have the box here because we sold it, was the Karajuki project, I think.
Okay.
I think it was some Nomad for the thing. But Infinity is an awesome game. Like if no one's ever experienced Infinity, it's a great game. It has its own style.
The reaction system.
And then also just the style of the minis, right? Because they do take anime in it's really good.
I'm not a huge fan of metal miniatures, but I got to tell you, these are the best metal miniatures that I have probably ever come across to paint and try and deal with. And the other thing that I've noticed, like this is for Infinity, the core set. This is the core game. This is not. And they don't even have, I don't believe they have cards or stuff for this to play in Code 1. So
no,
Code 1 is like the
this is N4, right? This is the
N4
series.
N4, that's right.
Yeah, and I will say this about Infinity. It has its own, like the reaction system in it is, I think, like the base core is one of the most elegant rule systems out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like I say, and they are another company that releases models constantly.
Well, you're always, and that's the thing in the game. You're always doing something. Even if it's your opponent's turn, you're still doing something because you're like the reaction system. If something comes into view, so it's a very dynamic feeling game. It's not it's your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, back and forth. And I think that I think that is what makes it such an engaging and tactical game. It's a very very tactical game. It's not it's not like your strategy games, moving stuff around. It is very, very tactical.
It's definitely engaging, like you said, right? Because like you're always on, right? It's always your turn. Like whether or not you're actually your turn, but you are looking for line of sight, you're reacting and stuff. So it's a very well game, and the models are great. Like they make such a great.
And that's the thing, the world, the universe that this is in. Those guys are knights. Yeah. And look how bad they look. They're awesome. They look so awesome.
And they are metal. That's the one thing. Yeah, they are metal. But like, there's people who love metal models, so like, that's cool.
I gotta say, I'm least offended by their metal models. I'll paint a metal model. I like them. That's not bad.
Okay, and then we had a couple.
Yep.
couple like I don't know, younger games for younger kids and stuff. Right. We have the Disney Pixar Toy Story Talent Show, and then Via Magica.
So this one I understand is basically a re-envisioning or relaunch of a game called Rise of Augustus. Okay. So it's an old game, and if you liked Rise of Augustus, you'll like this. I've not played this particular one. However, what I can tell you about it is it's a game where you start with, you get a hand of cards, and you have to decide what cards you're going to lay down and add resources to. And you're basically trying to build up those resources on those cards in order to win. So it's kind of a resource management game. I think it's supposed to be simple enough that, again, you could play it with younger players. You wouldn't have any difficulty teaching this game.
It says 7. 7 is the youngest.
Yeah. So it should be pretty easy, and the art's pretty adorable too.
I know
we look at different artwork, and whether we think it's adorable or not. The little blue dragon thing down there.
A lot of stuff I find myself, artwork does it for me, right? Yeah. Like I just see art on a box cover, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, what was that game? A couple Villains and Villainy.
Oh, that was
art on that game. And stuff like that. Yeah, that gets me. So art gets me every time. And then we have Toy Story talent show here. So
and that's
it's a Disney
exactly
game.
what you are. You are doing a talent show. So it's mostly a card game where you do different things, but there's also elements where you're going to have to try and do rope things, like try and lasso things. So it's more than just it's balance. There's some balancing. So there's some physical elements to the game that you're doing besides just playing cards. And the objective is you're just trying to win the talent show. You can be any of the characters from Toy Story, and you're trying to win a talent show.
Yep, and this one says 6 and up. So that's a couple games for younger kids and stuff. If you're looking, for games for like that, that's pretty cool.
What do you want to look at next?
All right, I will grab. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm not a Catan, even though Catan is like one of the bread and butter games, right? But I'm really excited and might learn how to play Catan because they just added dragons to it.
Well, that's just it. So this is an expansion so Catan has a ton of expansions, right? So 2 of the expansions, one is called Seafarers, and the other one is called Cities and Knights. Mm-hmm. That kind of adds 2 other elements to the game, where you can do shipping around sea, and then you can have a different commodity market from the cities, and then you have knights that can help fight and protect your commodities. Well, so it's a very medieval kind of element to it, right? This is an expansion and a number of scenarios that add on to the Seafarers and the Cities and Knights. So in order to use this expansion, you need Catan plus those other 2 expansions, but this adds, exactly like you're saying, now all of a sudden we have treasures and we have dragons and adventurers. So it's like we're going to turn Catan into Dungeons and Dragons. Let's just get out there. Catan is going to be Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to be. You're still going to be managing commodities, but it's a D&D.
But we're adding D&D, which actually there's a couple D&D things tonight we'll talk about later. But so D&D's hot.
Of course.
It's Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Super fun,
man.
Just
love Dungeons and Dragons.
Love D&D. Have always loved D&D.
All right. So there's that. And then, I got one more thing over here on my side.
All right.
So, all right. So D&D. I am a huge fan. That's another D&D thing.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of Epic Encounters. I think Epic Encounters is by Steamforged here. I think they, it's awesome, right? Because they give you a base set and then a boss. Now this time the boss is out before the rest of the thing, because I think this is the Temple of the Snake God. I think something of the Snake Cult or something is actually
okay.
But I think it's an ingenious idea where you have these 2 adventures, right, and then you play through the one and then a boss fight at the end for D&D 5th edition, right?
Well, and these also include everything you need, right? It's got the maps that you need. It's got the statistics for the monsters. So the only thing that doesn't come with this is paint. You just have to paint the model. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is, too, is like if you just want to do this and not do the Snake Cult one, the first one, you don't have to because it has tokens that represent the creatures from the first set. But if you own both sets, then you have all the minis. It's a full-on expansion. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Epic Encounters, and I'm really excited to see what they they continue to do. And the minis have been great.
I think if WizKids and Wizards of the Coast, if you guys are listening, I think that they could do an incredible job of if they made these types of sets for their published adventures. So when you get a published module that has this, you could also buy some of the encounters boxes, or if there were, the encounters throughout the game, buy this with the maps, the monsters, everything you got, just lay it out there. Think about that. How cool would that be?
That would be cool.
Have everything you need with the published module. So WizKids, Wizards of the Coast, listen up. That's what we want.
Yeah, because you could buy like the Curse of Strahd box, right? And it would just have all the minis, all the maps,
or maybe Curse of Strahd, because there's a lot of it. Maybe it's 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever. But they can just meet it out as they need to.
Because they make all the minis.
Yeah.
Like WizKids makes pretty much all the D&D,
Exactly.
like because they come out with a set every time.
And most of them are pre-painted, like we'll see in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Epic Encounters, this is an awesome box.
Good
So
stuff.
I do recommend these. I actually own pretty much all of them. I haven't bought the snake yet, but
These guys are cool.
yeah, this is awesome. All right, so grab something over there and see what we want to look at.
I want to talk about this.
All right, so Summoner Wars came out, and this is
It's the second
a
edition.
reprint, right? Second edition.
Yeah,
right?
second edition, yes. So it looks like that in this one, the board is now a cardboard fold-out instead of a neoprene mat, is what it appears to be in this one. I haven't opened it up, but that's what it looks like. I think that, mechanically the game is quite similar, same as the others. What's neat about Summoner Wars to me is it's a card game, but it's also kind of a miniatures strategy game without miniatures, right? So do you remember a while ago there used to be the games where they had basically the little circles and they flipped them to move, and they did a Warhammer version of War.
Yes, I can't remember what it was called, but yes,
Right.
I do remember that.
So conceptually, what I like about that is it's a miniatures game, but you don't have to carry around terrain and miniatures, right? But you can still get that same kind of strategy and tactical play element out of it. That's what Summoner Wars is like, because your objective is just like it would be in a kind of a strategy or a miniatures battle game. You have to move around the board, so your cards move spaces around the board, and they can attack certain ways in certain places depending on how they're positioned. And there's also, you can put up walls and you can put up other defenses across the board too. So you get a full experience of a full kind of miniature style battle game in a box, and it'll play in under an hour. I mean, again, it's not going to scratch the itch because you don't get the models, because models make it. I mean, that's so much more immersive.
When you play miniature games, yeah.
But if you got to go on vacation or something, you want to play a game, you want to bring all your models,
just pack it in the
something
box.
like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Something
pretty
like
cool. And the art's great on it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got great art and stuff. Yeah. All right, cool. So there's second edition Summer Wars by Plaid Hat. Okay, so this month saw a lot of expansions for the game Nemesis.
Yep.
Now, Nemesis has been highly popular.
Yes.
So they came out with expansions for it.
So I have not played with any of the expansions. I have played the base game, and I can definitely talk about that. This one interests me because it's Space Cats.
I've seen these open because Sid at the store bought that.
I'm super excited about that. What is in here? There's no model pictures on the back.
That's the one thing.
You can't see them.
All of them don't have. This one actually might have a model on the back. But
Does it?
I don't know. It's like a 3D. I think it's like a 3D printed of the model. But a lot of them do not. They don't have the actual model on the thing. Now, do you like Nemesis?
I love Nemesis. So
Okay.
I'll just give you my 40-second rundown of Nemesis. Nemesis is extremely immersive. So if you want to feel like you're playing in the movie Aliens or you're being chased by something, you should play this game. The cool thing about it is it's not just cooperative against the board, everybody against the board. There is absolutely that element because everyone's trying to survive, but every player also has their own unique objective. So you might end up being able to play the game and winning by yourself and leaving everybody else to die aboard the ship. So that element that we were talking about earlier of hose your neighbor, that's not not hard hose your neighbor, but soft hose your neighbor. That's exactly what this game is
What
about.
Nemesis
it's totally
is like.
that. Yes, exactly. And it's so it is a long game. It takes a long time to play. It's not Twilight Imperium long, but it's definitely, you know, I mean, you're going to play for 2 to 3 hours, depending on the number of people that you have.
Yeah.
One of the things that, so if I could throw out something that I wish they would maybe somehow change, I know why they do it, but the action economy is a little strange because a turn is everybody takes 2 actions, then the villains take an action, the aliens, and then everybody takes 2 more actions, and the enemies take an action, and that's the end of a turn. That seems like 2 turns to me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but it seems like, so I just feel like that they could have sped up the game. I understand maybe you don't want people taking 4 actions in a turn because, you know, they could run in, search the room, blow up the aliens, and run out. Okay, that's too many actions. But I wish there was another way that they could kind of.
All right, we're back after technical difficulties.
Sorry.
Basically, I forgot to change the battery in the camera.
I thought I glitched.
So
I thought it was
yeah,
me. I thought I glitched. That's my fault.
No, it's something more simple than that.
Much more mundane.
Yeah, such as check the batteries in your camera before you record a video. Like,
So I know I was okay. So when we left, I was railing on, you know, the action economy in the game.
Mm-hmm.
However, don't let that discourage you from playing this game because it is extremely immersive. It's extremely fun, and like you said, that's just a distraction. So if I could rate this game, you know, I would still give it a 9 out of 10 because, you know, even with that action economy stuff, if that's the biggest complaint I got, it's a great game.
that's cool.
So,
And the minis are great.
Oh,
Even though they don't show the
gorgeous.
pictures on the back of how awesome their minis are. They are great minis in the especially if you like aliens and stuff like
they're
Xenomorphs and stuff
so
like that.
good.
Yeah. All right, so those are all the expansions for Nemesis there and
right.
the Space Cats. And
What do we want to do next? We're into some.
You're on. Well, I'm on your side now, so
Well, let's talk about these first because we just said about pre-painted miniatures. So again, WizKids, man, I love the pre-painted models that they do. The most recent sets that they've done, they now have clear bases. I love that too, and I like the way that they organize these. These are the summoned creatures sets. So remember the last one they did was polymorph and shape change.
Yes.
So most of the spells, like the creatures that you would have from a polymorph or shape change that you'd want to use, these are now creatures that you would summon, and they are all over the place. Elementals.
yeah, you can summon a Grey Hag in D&D.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. Like,
You can summon a needle blight.
yeah,
That's for the lower level. That's what you would summon. You would summon.
that's what I was
a
saying.
lower,
Like the Green Hag, though, that's
War
crazy.
horse. So Sid actually pointed this out to me, and I will never unsee this now. First off, I love these models, but if you take a look at the War Horse, here you'll see at the War Horse and then the Pegasus. The size difference between the two of them. The Pegasus is epic scale.
That's right, because it's
And the
mythical,
War Horse,
man.
he's very mythical. His hooves are twice as big as the War Horse. That is a killer Pegasus. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I like this one here because I like the Auroch. I think it's pretty
yeah.
cool looking, whatever. And the giant goat, right? It's a giant goat.
Well,
That's
I mean,
pretty sweet.
You know, that's the other thing. You're never going to summon a goat. You're going to summon a giant goat.
That's right. Yeah.
So and they know that. They're like, yeah, we're not even going to mess around.
We don't need little goats in the game. Like,
The satyr is cool. See, I can imagine using the satyr for more things than just the summon thing. As well,
yes,
there's
you could.
tons. And a coatl. When was the last time you saw a coatl model?
Back to the Green Hag, you could use as an enemy.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you don't have to summon it. You just make that the bad guy in
Exactly.
your campaign.
So they do. I mean, again, I'm a big fan of this. I love WizKids building the sets. You guys are already there. You're making model sets that we're going to use in the game based on what we would summon, based on what we would polymorph. Now you just need to put the maps in with the box set stuff or the games for the modules.
I think you should send them an email.
Maybe I should. Maybe
That's what I'm saying.
a fax.
A fax. Yes, fax. Because I'm sure
Where are they located? I'll drive there. Where is this?
There's Seattle, Washington,
Yeah.
right? Like
That's a
where's
long
the coast
drive.
out there? Yeah,
That's a
where's
long
the coast
drive.
out in Seattle, right? All right. Yeah.
WizKids, let's schedule a meeting.
And then the
WizKids.
thing with WizKids too is like they release stuff every month, right?
Oh, yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Like they're big.
And for D&D, I mean, that's fantastic. So
Now we hit a couple role playing things.
yes, role-playing things.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So we got Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Tide, by Chaosium.
Yep.
And when I first saw this and read it, I did not know things like a solitaire adventure for Lakeshore. Does that mean it is one player?
Yeah. It's you. So it's this is what a choose your own adventure book should have been, in my opinion. So they have several different ones of these. This is for the new 7th edition rules, and you have a character and you have a sheet and you roll dice and you encounter. So it's not just, oh, if you do this, go here. If you do that, go here. Because all of the different passages are numbered like you would in a choose your own adventure book, except that it goes, oh, roll initiative and now fight this monster. If you win, go here. If you lose, or if you investigate, well, choose what you want to do. And if you, maybe you want to see if you can find something, or maybe you want to dig under something. You can choose your skills that you use, and then depending on the outcomes of those skills, that's where it will direct you in the game. So it's more immersive. It's more play like, you've got a character sheet, you've got dice, and you're playing. And it's Call of Cthulhu, so that's always going to be more investigative than rolling dice and trying to
because then the thing, like, I remember playing. I've only played Call of Cthulhu I think once, and most of the times you really don't want to fight things, right? Most things just
no, they'll kill you.
Yeah, kill you, take you to another dimension, drive you mad.
Yeah, you want to run,
drown you, whatever.
That's what makes the game so cool, is because you got to investigate, you got to find out what's going on, but you really don't want to. You don't want to find out, because as soon as you do, you'll either get killed, you'll get eaten, you'll get
go crazy,
insane. Teleported to another dimension, like you said.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. There was some sort of monster that could come through corners or something.
Oh my goodness!
I can't remember what the hell. I don't know what they're called. Like,
like a corner demon.
Yeah, but basically they come through corners, so you got to stay in round rooms the entire time, or it just comes because it just hunts you through the thing.
See, but that's the type of weirdness that is Call of Cthulhu. And again, these modules, there's at this point I know there's at least 2 or 3, and I don't know if this is the only one for the 7th edition. There may be another one out. But it's just...
So it's basically just a choose your own adventure book with some dice, right?
Yeah, and you have to have the Call of Cthulhu game system, because those are the rules that are used. So it just doesn't have a dungeon master. This is your game master.
Well, that's pretty neat, man.
Yeah, it's super cool.
All right, so that's the last role-playing thing.
So I said there were 2 things that were in the top 99%.
Oh, no. Is this one of them?
Yeah, this is totally it. So, okay. First off, the spy game. It is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons variant for playing modern-day spy adventures.
Oh, this is D&D rules?
This is D&D 5th edition rules, yes.
Okay.
So that's what this is. It has been touted as a spiritual successor to Spycraft. So you played Spycraft for 3rd edition D&D when it came out. That's what it's been touted as. I'm going to say no. I don't think that's what it is. I think, for those of you that have been playing games for a long time, that this is the spiritual successor to Ninjas and Super Spies. The old Palladium game.
Palladium?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, it is. Because you are part of a super spy organization. And there are... So, okay. I'll calm down a bit, because I'm really excited about this. All the characters are different. There's 5 or 6 different classes in here. They don't correlate to things that you would find in the Dungeons & Dragons rulebook. They're new types of classes that fit into a spy world. There's rules for, obviously, modern weapons. Good rules on here as a game master, how to design a spy game and how to do things that that spies would be interested in. This you can think of as James Bond. What's the other one that I love? Jason Bourne, all that stuff. And the one with Tom Cruise. What's that? You know which ones I'm talking about?
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Thank you very much. So you can get all of those types of missions out of this. And again, what it's got going for it is this is 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And the publisher, the distributor, Modiphius does great stuff. So the quality of the book, there are 2 different colors of ribbons. So if you have to track things in there as a game master, as a player, you got plenty of ribbons to help keep your stuff. It's just a nice quality book, but the game itself, super cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So it even says 5e on there. Yeah. I didn't think. Yeah, that's pretty cool that they took the fantasy D&D and then.
I'm totally running this game. I'm absolutely running this game.
Like spies.
Yep. I'm totally running this game because number one, when I was a kid, we played Ninjas and Super Spies. and the game system, the concept, the world, everything you did was so cool, and the game system was so bad. And now we've got a working good game system, and I can play all that cool stuff again. You better believe
You're like totally doing it.
We're gonna have some ninjas and super spies right here. That's what's gonna happen.
All right, so that's cool. All right, so we got one more thing to talk about because it's a big deal for this month, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And this is the other thing where we're saying in the top 99 because it combines
your favorite thing. D&D,
my favorite
right?
thing.
Yeah.
It combines my favorite thing with something that I never thought I'd see. Oh, the best ever is whenever they're going to release the Lord of the Rings ones of these. That month will say the top.
Okay, listen. If that's going to be like a 2-hour episode, by the way, if they release that, right? You'd be like, well, actually, Gandalf came from.
I present to you Dungeons and Dragons meets Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
That's what this is.
Like two things going. And
yes.
I will say this. So when I first heard about this, I was kind of like, man, because at one point Magic had come out with what was those The Walking Dead cards?
Oh,
not
yeah.
Walking Dead. Is it called The Walking Dead? Yeah, The Walking Dead cards.
Yeah.
And then I think there's actually some Warhammer 40K commander decks coming at some point. And like so when they did the D&D, I'm like, oh man, a full set. I don't know, like because other stuff's like these like.
Right.
Fringe things, right? Some
right.
commander I think one was a secret lair and then there's a commander decks, right? But this is like, no, it's a full set of them.
It is.
It's awesome. Like they did a fantastic job of this. Like there is some cool cards with the layer cards, right?
Yes.
And the old art cover, and then like some of the monsters have the old bestiary art on them.
See that's my favorite is the old classic art that's on some of the cards. And the covers of the old modules that are some of the lands. That's my favorite. This whole set. If you're listening, I want more of those. Just the old modules like Evolving Wilds and some of those old cards.
Yeah.
They're so
and they
cool.
put those. I think my favorite is the decision cards.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you come one's like a goblin. It's like you see a pair of goblins and it's like fight it and then you get a bonus, or run and then you get another bonus.
Yep.
And there is like probably 10 to 12 of those. Like. Yep. Those, I think that is so cool. They did a very fantastic job with those.
And now there's classes. You get this class mechanic that you can go up levels in your class. And you can do extra stuff. Delving into the dungeon, the layers, all that. I don't keep up with the Magic the Gathering meta, so I don't know if those are going to be played a lot in tournaments or whatever. But
from what I kind of halfway get into it, whatever. I think Ranger class for mono green is the
way to go.
Is the way to go. I think Clear class is supposed to be good too because of the life gain. If you're playing like life gain and stuff like that, but I've heard Ranger class is just the top notch class of all those or whatever. But it's really cool. So you're gonna let us open up the pack, right? We're
absolutely.
All right, going to start opening that up or whatever.
This.
Yeah, but I think that stuff is like. I don't know. It's so cool.
The other thing in this set is there's so many of the named characters from the Forgotten Realms. So if you've played Forgotten Realms, if you've read the books, you're familiar with this stuff like Drizzt and Mordenkainen and some of the other names. They're all part of this set. Wow, that's a fancy display there, isn't it? My goodness, how's that work? Is that how you do this?
I think that's how it goes. Yeah, you just stick it down in there.
Oh.
Pull this up. And then
pick a pack.
I'm picking this one.
I'm going to pick this one right over here.
All right, so we'll get a fancy camera here, Al. All right, yeah, so I got the Mind Flayer as well. Let's see here. Open it. Let's see what I got here. Let's see, I got the Atropole Token Legendary God Horror. What is that?
That's from the
Tomb of Annihilation, because it's got it on Cradle of the Death God. It's got it on the very back. All right, let's see here. Oh, this is an art card?
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Got a sweet barbarian cutting a head off or fighting something headless. Island. So I also do like in the island, like it tells you, it gives you like a narrator for a D&D campaign, right? It's like as your ship clears the edge of Waterdeep Harbor, you notice pirate sails on the horizon. What has made them so bold? With the question mark, and that all the lands have something like that.
That's
on there,
cool,
right? Oh, there's the alternate art, classic art. Yeah, that stuff's really nice, man.
See, I love the names of these cards too. You find the villain's lair.
See, this is that you
That's
find, and then it
perfect.
gives you 2 options. I think that's awesome. And then so no one cares about the comments, right? Everybody.
Bag of Holding. That's a classic item from Dungeons and Dragons. Come on, is that a
Rust
uncommon?
Monster? Yeah, it's uncommon.
Ooh.
Sort of. Rust Monster. That's cool, dude. How many times have people been infuriated by the Rust Monster? Right, like
early editions.
yeah,
Unbelievably, because how many swords have you lost? What do you fight them with? Then you got to kick them.
yeah. That's like
I mean,
pick
come
on those
on.
little bug things. Dragon's Fire.
Ooh,
I
that's
think
cool
I got
card.
Dritz.
Hey, look at that.
Dritz Jordan. I know who that is. And then the Grandmaster of Flowers. I think that is Bahamut, right?
It is right there.
Oh, it tells you on the
yeah.
on the thing. Yeah,
Legendary Planeswalker.
that is cool. And then a Brazen Dwarf.
So these sets, you get a foil card and an art card with every one of them.
I
is what
think
it is?
so. Yeah.
All right,
So
well,
you
let's-
bring them higher there. There
Let's
we go.
try. Let's see what we got here. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh my goodness. I'm not good at cracking packs. Let's see. What's this first thing? This is a. It tells you how to do a
Let's
play.
Let's play.
And magic minigame. Magic
I don't
and
know
minions.
what this is.
What's happening here? What am I looking
Use the
at?
cards in a booster to inspire your one-shot adventure. Pick one player to the Dungeon Master. It's almost like you play a game.
You play D&D
like a D&D game
with
with
the
it.
cards. Oh,
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Here's our
That's your
art
art
card.
card.
Let's see what have I got here.
Oh,
Ooh,
look at Druid.
that's kind of neat. Here we
Yeah, it
go.
should tell you how many art cards. How many art cards are actually? 81. There's 81 different art
Good
cards.
Lord. Here's the forest. Before the Elf Queen will aid you, you must find a way to cure the strange rot afflicting the roots of the ancient trees.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Again, more classic art. Do you remember this? I
Yep.
totally remember this artwork. That's great. Mordenkainen's Polygraph. See, that's what we were talking about. There's elements that call back to the game. You know, Secret Door. How many games have you played in that have secret doors? Death Priest of Merkel. Come on. Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Power word kill. There's spell. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, a red dragon! Check that out. That's awesome. When the red dragon enters the battlefield, deals 4 damage to each opponent. That's got to be cool, right? A white. That's a rare card, apparently. Oh, nice. All right. Loyal War.
Oh, look! That's
Dragon
actually. I
Turtle.
think that's like an actual played card. I think Dragon Turtle is like an actual played card. And you have
It's-
the alternate. It's foil too. I think.
yeah,
Right?
it's foil and it's the alternate art.
Look at that, fancy.
That's cool. Well, very cool.
Yeah, so that is really cool stuff there. Yeah, so D&D, I mean, yeah, they knocked out of the park with these cards, right? Like, it's amazing
Great set. That was super fun. I like those.
that they did any of that, all that.
But I didn't get one of the lands that is the cover of an old adventure module.
You got like 30 more packs or so. How many? 36 come in here? Or,
Yeah,
no, 30. I think 30 come
Okay.
into the set boosters because there's a difference between the draft and set
Right.
boosters.
But still, that would have been so cool to have on screen and show everybody those they look like. You just have to keep watching.
So this was a pretty good month.
Good
of
month.
The game stuff, right?
Super good month. It's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in picking up any of this stuff, please check your friendly local game store first. If they don't have it, you can check out www.guardtower.com for our online store. And always, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. We really do appreciate it because we're growing the channel, and it genuinely does help. Barlow, once again, man, I really thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me, man. Having some fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're looking forward to August, right?
Can't wait.
All
Super
right.
excited.
Well, y'all have a wonderful one now. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you.